We will be talking today when can we discharge our premature baby and when to call for follow-up and what to look for follow-up. So, as we all know that our preemies are having a lot of issues when they are in the NICU, and it's like great pleasure for us to discharge these babies. Now, when we start planning for discharge, we have to make sure the baby doesn't have any underlying condition which may cause problems when he goes home. So he should be usually off oxygen, off any antibiotics, and off on any kind of tubes, taking feeds well, maintaining his temperature, and keeping himself quite warm by not using too much of surrounding incubator temperature. That's the time when we can think our baby can go home. And also, we should make sure that the environment at the home should be fine. The mother should be taught that the room temperature has to be kept warm, infection control has to be taken care of, hand hygiene has to be told to the mother. Anybody who's got infection should not go near the baby. So if the mother gets infection by any chance, she should wash her hands and use a mask to take care of the baby. Also, she should make sure that one corner of the house is kept exclusively for the baby where there are not many people who are coming in. We are actually doing certain things before we send these preemies home. We ensure that a car seat test is done. We ensure that the parents have undergone a basic neonatal resuscitation training so that if something happens to the baby, they are well aware what to do so as to take care of these babies at home. And also, we make sure that the RSV prophylaxis is understood by them and they will be following the RSV prophylaxis when they go home monthly. This starts from September to October and goes every month till March. The vaccination, we make sure that all the vaccinations appropriate for that age which we are giving according to the chronological age have been given before they discharge. The hearing test is done, which is not a OAE test but a proper ABR test is to be done so as to pick any kind of a hearing problems. The other thing which we have to be sure is the retinopathy of prematurity. So we are doing that test by the ophthalmologist in the NICU, but some of them are not yet completely out of this test. So we make sure that the ROP screening booklet is given to them and they should know when to go for follow-up for these ROP screening and where to go for them. So these are very important points, along with not to forget about the growth. So we should make sure before we discharge these babies, the baby is growing well. So we should plot their growth in a proper Fenton's growth chart and see not only their weight is growing, but their length is growing and their head circumference is growing, because the weight gain is directly proportionate to the neurodevelopmental outcome. So most of these babies might go with human milk fortifier added to their milk, mom's milk, so as to have a better growth to them. And this human milk fortifier may be actually continued till at least 2.5 kg, and sometimes for some babies we may even ask them to continue till longer and 9 months. So sometimes these babies are not able to get this human milk fortifier, then we can actually add helper formula milk to the mother's milk to increase the calories and the protein so as to have their a good weight gain. So once we are all set to go, we have to make the parents understand the importance of follow-up and what we are going to do in the follow-ups. So how do we do follow-ups in these babies is that usually what I do is till 2.5 kg we are calling them weekly. After 2.5 till 3 kg, we are calling them bi-weekly, and then monthly, and then 3 monthly, and 6 months, 9 months follow-up is to be done. The baby, when it comes to the follow-up, what are the things we are looking for? So the growth is the most important thing. So as I told you that if the baby is growing well, the neurodevelopmental outcome is going to be good. So we check each time they are coming, the weight, the height and the head circumference, and we put them into a proper chart to see if they are growing well. So till 42 weeks we use those charts, and after that we can use the WHO charts to see how they are growing. When we are plotting them, we should look at the corrected age, not the chronological age, so as to not be giving an alarm that baby is not growing well. So unnecessarily alarm, I mean. So the growth is very important, and as I said, if the baby falters in growth, if it was only on exclusive breastfeeding, we will be adding a human milk fortifier. If it's exclusive breastfeeding plus the formula milk, then we will go for a preterm formula milk. So we can actually escalate the sources of giving the nutrition to these babies. The second thing, again, the ROP has to be checked that whether they are doing the proper follow-up of the eyes regularly. The hearing is to be seen. If they failed anyway, then we have to repeat the screening test, and if it fails, we have to go for a full ABR screening. And then the neurodevelopment, which is very important. So neurodevelopmental outcome has to be seen up to 2 years and sometimes even more, because we have to call them and do a complete neurodevelopmental outcome, especially at 40 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months and 2 years. And we need to have a DDST chart or whatever chart you are comfortable with to be sure the baby is not lagging. So if the baby is lagging, we should start doing early stimulation, which is really helpful. So we have to do audio stimulation, visual stimulation, and also we have to do the physiotherapy, occupational therapy to these babies early on, so that they don't go into a neurodevelopmental bad outcome. The mother interaction is very important with the baby. The mother should be talking to the baby, should be doing most of the things, and even the father contribution is very, very important, otherwise mother is going to get exhausted. And if we have elderly in the home, they should be involved as well. And then the follow-up is also on the vaccination. So whatever vaccination is given, but the next we have to make sure what's pending. Each time we should be completing the vaccination chart, and don't forget the RSV. And when we are calling them for follow-ups, also we have to make sure that the family is involved, not just the mother is coming. So the father is involved, and the father should be coming along with the baby so that he's equally taking part in these kind of babies. These babies have a problem. If they overgrow and they go into obesity, they may have a cardiovascular illnesses. If they are undergrowing, then they may have neurodevelopmental problems. So that's why we have to be balancing their growth and not overdo or less. Also, these babies may have problems with kind of blood pressures may be high. Don't forget about that, and you may end up in a hypertension in these babies. So a blood pressure monitoring time to time should be done for these babies. They may have also a high risk to asthma and acute reactive airway diseases. So whenever there is a change in the weather, we should make sure that we are looking into that and examining that the baby is not going on for that. And then the cardiovascular system also needs to be examined, because they may go, if somebody had a BPD, then they may go into cor pulmonale. So that part also needs to be seen when they are coming for our follow-ups. So these babies are very, very pricey babies. We have to really take care of them very delicately, and don't forget any part in your follow-up. Hope we will all together take care of these babies, not only in the NICU but later when they grow up. Thank you.